Hey everybody, I'm BJ, this is Brickhouse Builds, and in this video I'm working on a DR650 with a low-end bog and some other issues. I think I came up with a fix for it that might be unique. So anyway, in this video I'm going to explain what I did and put a call to you guys to see if maybe you've done something similar, or if you want to try something like this, report back and tell me how it went for you. Anyway, enjoy the video. Alright guys, so I have this DR650 here in the shop, just a regular service job. Customer brought it to me. I needed to do some sprockets, fix a tube in the back, check out a couple other things, and then address a bog that the thing had at kind of like low RPM. Now, I have zero DR650 experience, so I dove into this kind of like any project, trying to find a potential flaw. And what I have found is an issue or potential issue with the needle and the whole slide assembly, basically. So this thing has an FMF slip-on, and it has a K&N filter in it. And from what I've been told, this thing does have an upgraded like a jet kit. I know it has like a 170 main in it, which seems excessive, but the plugs read all right. And it has an adjustable needle in it. So I did an adjustment. I messed around with it, took it for a ride, and no bog. This thing runs really good. Night and day difference. So let me kind of show you what I was doing here. See if maybe it's something that you guys have tried, or if it isn't. I don't know, maybe I'm an idiot or something, who knows, but let's at least look at what I did. Alright guys, so let me demonstrate here close up as to what I've done and what I've encountered. So this is just how I removed the slide and needle assembly after the work I've done. And one of the things that I really want to point out here that I think is crucial is you can move the needle in any direction. It has a nice loose, wiggle to it. Now that's with the spring fully compressed, so that's like worst case scenario at any situation in the bike. Alright? Now, let me show you how I have this assembled. Now there's still the little plastic isolator at the end, but let me show you the needle here. So this has an aftermarket needle. It is adjustable. Now if you notice here on the top, I literally have just a rubber washer that I have from my part stash and for other carburetors, and it's a smaller diameter than the clip itself. So let me show you kind of what I ran into here. Show you the reasoning behind this. I'll put up some photos of this thing right now, but I did modify this little rubber O-ring with a flat spot in it. And this thing does sit a little higher than a regular O-ring. But when this thing came to me, the washer here was on top the needle, on top the clip. Alright, so I'm going to assemble this how it came to me, with this washer on top the clip here and no bushing underneath. You got to spin it so the needle actually sits down within the carb, or within the slide. So you can see I can wiggle the needle this way. This is with no pressure on the needle. I can't move it back. I can't move it in this direction. It can go all directions except for back, okay? And what I noticed was that the needle itself, I'm going to rotate this. Hopefully you can see it. You see those dark spots? There's actually some wear marks on the side of the needle, okay? And my original theory was that riding it was like at low RPM, it was almost like an on-off switch. It was just like blah, like it would all of a sudden, like after you have enough throttle in there, like it was finally raising the slide and giving it the fuel that it wanted. So I did suspect that the slide was sticking somehow. So I approached this like I would with any CV carb that I have a lot of experience in, with, like, say, key-ins and stuff like that on a lot of Hondas and some Mikunis and whatnot. And like I said, I have zero DR experience, so I didn't know that this is kind of a really common thing. But if you look inside the slide, there is actually a ridge about right here that comes up, and you have to actually rotate the needle to sit down flat, okay? Now, whenever I have the washer on here, it's just big enough to where, if you're looking at it, so I can get a good view here. That overhangs that section of the clip. Okay. Now, what I was finding is that the side of the washer was hitting the ridge within the slide and causing it to not allow it to rock in every direction. Now, removing that altogether, rotating the needle in here, you can see we have all of the range of motion. But as soon as we put our spring in, we have the same situation, okay? It's not moving back. That's because the isolator on the spring is pushing down on that clip and being bound up by that ridge in the slide, okay? So it's still causing lateral motion on the actual slide, or on the needle itself, dragging within the emulsion tube, and that can cause a delayed reaction on the slide. So the fix that I did, I just ditched this washer altogether since I didn't see it as serving a function there. I took a small rubber O-ring that does have a little height to it. I don't really have a part number for this, but we can make do. If I had a piece of plastic, I would cut it down to this. That would be really cool. And I actually put it on top the washer, or on top the clip, and I have it clocked so you can see that there's a flat spot on both sides. Now, this is doing two things. It's allowing the needle to actually rock within the slide and not contact that ridge within that. And then also, it's spacing up the isolator on top or under the spring to where it's not going to contact that little ridge within the slide as well. So basically the ridge is the issue. Now, assembling it, you can see it just, goes together real easy. And just make sure it's rotated. Get the spring in, you can compress that. Like I said, it can move in any direction. This is what I found. All right, let's try to look at this this actual ridge within the slide here. You can see all the way at the bottom that horizontal line down there. It's right next to the hole that the needle passes through. So basically there's no room for any kind of free play within the needle itself. And then that ridge is acting upon this bushing right here, causing it to kind of like want to be forced over like that, okay? And then that's going to put weird load on the needle itself, therefore causing side load within the emulsion tube, causing the whole system to just kind of drag to a halt. So basically this is the setup I have. The needle with the clip with a washer, spacing it up just a little bit before it goes into this isolator, and then those two things combined clear everything within that ridge inside the slide. Alright guys, we're here going to go ahead and try to showcase what this thing was, how this thing's riding right now. Now before, I'd be riding this thing and you get just a little bit of throttle, and there was a big hesitation. It would start pulling, and then all of a sudden it was like kind of hanging, and then it would like really pick up. Now it's very smooth. Doesn't seem like it bogs at all. And like, I'll demonstrate, but you can crack into it and it's just there all the time.
So this thing's warmed up and we're good to go. Has response. This is low RPM right here. I'm just gonna smash it. No hesitation. Linear all the way through. Get a little sound clip of this thing. It has a K&N filter, FMF Power Core 4. Gymkhana, here I come.
right, so this thing's back together, and just a quick thing of note, as I've been talking with another friend who has a DR650. I do know there should be a plastic bushing, I guess, stock underneath the clip on the needle, and this one I'm just working with what I have, so there's no plastic bushing or anything like that. But being that this one has an aftermarket needle that is adjustable height-wise, I felt that you can just adjust out of that. So anyway, this thing's on like the 4th position or something like that, and like I said, it runs good. So yeah, let me know if I'd really love it if somebody else tried something like this, because from my very limited understanding, it seems like a lot of people are struggling with a low RPM bog with these things, and I don't know, it was night and day with this. I just did that one single fix, or one single change with no other changes. You know, before I had already tried messing with the fuel screw and stuff like that. I put those back to how it was, and one of my rules is one change at a time. So I did that single change and gone. So anyway, let me know if you guys have any luck with it, or if maybe there's something I'm missing, or maybe it's a fluke. I don't know. Maybe I should go buy lottery tickets. Just let me know. Hit me up in the comments, and we'll go from there. So anyway, I hope you guys like this one. If you're new here, I don't post a lot of service stuff. I do mainly like custom work and stuff that you'll see on the videos. But yeah, definitely subscribe if you found this one interesting. And yeah, hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.